Bwana asifiwe. I'm so happy to be here. My full name is Abigael Ngecha, Wanja Ngecha. That one tells you where I am from. And I'm looking forward to having a wonderful time with you today. It's a day of learning. Are we ready? And your leaders, Bonaduku and Peter, they've actually pointed the exact thing that you're going to learn here today. So we are from Madison Insurance. I've worked with Madison Insurance for the last 27 years. So when I look at the faces, I can tell some were not here, some were way not here, and others have been here. And for those 27 years, 16 of them, I served as a staff. A staff is a person who waits for a salary end month. And every end of the year, you're waiting for an increment. And if the increment is not coming, you're angry with your boss. How many are employed here? Nice. How many are in business? How many are in school? Awesome. All of us are here to learn. And as he has said, the next billionaires should come from this team that is here. And we have the formula. I love the Lord as my personal Savior. I've walked with Him many years. And for a fact, I can tell you that I know firsthand how God sees you through issues of this life. I know firsthand. I'm a mother of a grown-up son. And when you're bringing up children, there are many things that come up in life. And you know firsthand that God answers our prayers. And I'll tell you, without fear of any contradiction, that the concept I'm going to share with you today is an answer from God for Kenyans and their finances. Amen? It's an answer from God. People have asked that question. I asked that question over and over again. God, does it mean that you can work from the age of 25 to the age of 60 and still be looking for money at age 61? At age 65, you're still waking up to open up doors of your business, or to that place that you're employed, or that place that you're employing. At 65, you're still looking for money. I've asked that question and I didn't have answers for many years. So when I got the answer, I knew this is it. So I'm very passionate about training and teaching on it. And I hope today somebody will leave here knowing exactly what to do with the money you have as you head towards retirement. And I'm very passionate about this subject. And because I've been given 45 minutes, I'll have to rush a bit. I was given 30, I extended to 45. But when I start talking, there are some slides I will pass over quickly. I hope maybe I'll be called a second time to be given a whole day for a workshop. That's what we need for us to break the cycles, the culture that is so ingrained in our DNA about borrowing. We borrow for practically everything. And the lenders are so close to us, they're not even giving us any options about what to do when we need money. They will not allow us even to work for the money. They'll allow us to work for the money to pay their debt together with interest. So we want to learn how we can stop working for money all our lives and have money work for us. Can we send money somewhere to be able to work for us? Are we ready? Who is that? So you're young. I think I'm the oldest in the room. No, maybe my dear friend Mercy, a bit. Si tumevuka 50s, tuko huko karibu. Unaona? This is the life of a Kenyan. From the time you entered, from the time you were a small girl, small boy, you wanted money to buy something in the shop and you didn't have the money. And when the money comes, you run, spend it, and then wait for the next time. When you're in school, you're getting your pocket money. It's not enough. It's that big thing. You're asking, ipesa itoshi. Some of us are now earning, and when you're earning, you again realize that, Allah, ipesa itoshi. I cannot live from paycheck to paycheck and still have money in my account. Ama kuna mtu anapatanga bado iko. Almost 100% of us, the money will end tarehe 5, tarehe 10. So between the rest of the days you're borrowing to actually sustain yourself, and then when the money comes, you pay, and then you start again. It's a cycle. We call it the rat race. And from here, you'll be thinking about a wedding. It's big. From there, you'll be thinking about kids going to school. From there, you're thinking about building a home. From there, you're thinking you want a car. From there, I don't know, it's dowry. I don't know, it comes before or after. You want to pay dowry or you want your dowry paid. Yeah? From there, you want to continue maybe building that big business you have. You need big capital to start or to continue doing that business. So we are running this like throughout our lives, and we are saying you can actually have life without worry. I'm glad most of the verses you've quoted here is what I'd actually put in my test. I cannot fail to quote some verses because I believe God himself is talking to us today and solving some problems that we have. Luke 10:19. I just decided to pick something out of a bigger verse, but he's saying, I've given you the power. And in another verse it says, I've given you authority over the power of the enemy. So it's time to step into financial leadership and lead the next generation. You are the one who will stand there and lead the next generation. You're the one who is going to create the generational wealth in your lineage. It's you and the children who come after you. If you're married, it should be for you and your spouse. If you're not, you start as yourself, but you must be able to incorporate your spouse as you head there. I decided to just quote this. Maybe you can just note Genesis 1:28. And God blessed them and said to them, be fruitful, multiply, and fill the earth and subdue it. If you're not doing that, there's something wrong. If you're not doing that, if you're not the people who are going to do those big businesses, the multi-billion businesses in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, if it's not this generation, we are missing it. And I want to show you how to create those billions in a very simple concept that we have here. Ephesians, God has given us everything. Everything. And it's up to us to know how are we stretching our faith to be able to actually see it manifest in our life. Deuteronomy 8:18, I was happy when this was brought up. It's God who gives us the power to become wealthy. Deuteronomy 30:19, everyone has an equal chance. We have a choice to choose what we are going to do with our time and our money. And depending with what we do, it's getting us there. Whatever we choose, it's getting us there. Exodus 34:7. This is where I stop a bit. I know this is from the Old Testament, but I'm convinced that as we sit here, we are that generation the Bible was talking about. The third and fourth generation is us. We've already inherited something from our parents that was kind of ignorant. We inherited their ignorance. It's the only way I'll explain how my father steps into retirement with 5 million, and 2 years down the line he has nothing. And by the time he's dying, we are paying a huge medical bill for him. So maybe the only thing he ends up leaving us is the piece of land. But we are 8 of us. So how much do you get out of the 1 acre? And I have 5 children. And my sister has 3, and the other one has 4. So what are we going to do with this inheritance that our father left us? So we want to think different. We want to say that is old school. What can we do as a youth, as the new generation, as the young generation? What is it that we can do different, even as we think about leaving an inheritance to the next generation? I'm glad because I'm the practicals teacher. I'm going to do practicals, not theory. It's something that you can do, and even if we don't see one another from today, it's something that can actually be able to get you there. That's a father and a daughter. Able to see them? And we all owe it to ourselves to pass this to the next generation. You must be able to know what kind of education are you bringing up for your children. If you're going to give your children the best education, it means you had money to pay 100K a term, or 200K a term, or 500K a term. There are schools that are paying 1 million a term. Can you afford that for your child by the time you have them, or the ones that you have? So you plan now and actually know that you can get there. Apart from that, we need to know how many millions are you going to pass on to the next generation. The good thing about my talk is that you can actually estimate. If you decide I can only afford 2K per month, we can see what it translates to at 61 if you remain on course. You don't add, you don't remove. You can actually project and see what my 2,000 can do, what my 5,000 can do, what my 10,000 can do. And again, I'm repeating, we are the ones to change the culture that we have in this country where people are working all their lives. So maybe a little about Madison as a company. Usually, I will use even any other company to sell the products. This insurance is just a vehicle that you use. Insurance is a vehicle you use. We'll introduce money market to you, how to use a money market fund. If Bwana Peter calls me again, we may have time to look at the other vehicles that are available in Kenya that we can use, and why would you need to use a SACCO, shares, and all that. But today we may not have the time. But it's good because today I'm standing here as Madison to understand that it was incorporated in 1988 when it merged between 2 companies. And in 2018, it demerged. Demerging means it was a directive by IRA, the government, to put a life company aside as a company, general insurance company, the one that deals with properties, aside, and the investment managers aside. So we are 3 companies under one roof, and I actually use products from 2 of our companies in the concept that you're going to learn today. We have many networks around the country. Some people are fearful that sasa nikiingilia Nairobi and I'm with you for the next 15 years, what if I go to Kitale? You're going to find there's a branch in Kitale, Machakos, any other, there's a big network. All those are actually networks that are there in this company. So now we go to our training today. And our training is talking to us about the journey of life. I usually like drawing it this way. I hope everyone can see here. I draw it that way. And I say this is you at birth. Then you'll go through primary school, secondary school, and then college. And at the age of 20 or thereabout, we are ready to start working. 0 to 20, somebody takes care of your expenses. But by the time you're stepping to your 30th year, 40th year, saa sita kamili hapa ni wakati wa kugonga 50 years. Then at 60, we call it normal retirement age, and you'll still have your 70th year, 80th year, 90th year, and if you're lucky, you can hit what? 100 year. Again, you go back to dependency. So actually we mark the 90th year. We say from there, this is the space where you should not worry about what you're eating or what you're drinking. When I talk to young people, usually they're around here, and usually they feel like, uko ni mbali sana. But I'll tell you, the clock never stops ticking. Even as we sit here, you're aging, and you're getting towards the next stage. So we tell a person that there are things that happen while you're headed here, and this is where we talk about the 6 pillars of life. It is during this period that you're going to need to have a good medical cover for yourself and your family. You'll need a good medical cover. And especially after you're past age 60. Most companies will give very good covers. So you need to know, will I be able to afford that? You need to think about the education of your children. Start putting money aside so that you don't disappoint your children. You need to think about owning a home. You'll not live in your father's home forever. So where are you going to put a home for your family? And then there's personal development. You want to go back to school, you want to buy a new car, or you want to upgrade a car, or you want to move from your old home, from Eastlands to maybe the other side of the road. It needs money. And you also need to think about family holiday. Kenyans don't think about going for holiday. But I'm glad, I think that has changed a bit in the recent past. You can hear families saying tumeenda Mombasa. You can see the photos. But in the older generation, our generation, it was not there in your list of things to do. We need to put it there because it's healthy for us. And then there's retirement, the most important. And this is the question I ask at retirement. Will you have money working for you, or will you still be working for money? So this is just to provoke us. We're just asking, by the time you're 60, can you be able to afford all these things? If you bought a car, can it remain on comprehensive? Comprehensive must be 20, 30,000 and above. If you're not able to pay that, you go for third party, you pay 7,500. And it means if you hit your car on a wall, you'll pay the wall and you'll repair your own car. But if you have comprehensive, it means everything is covered by the company. Can you afford a good medical cover of about 40 to 80K for you and your spouse? Can you afford a good personal accident cover? Or if you break your leg at the age of 65, we must come in and do a harambe. The spirit of harambe must die in this country. People are refusing to plan because they know, sorry, kama nitakanyanga kidogo. They know when I need to do my wedding, I'll just call the pre-wedding. They know when I need to go for the dowry payment, I'll just call guys watanichangia tuende kwa dowry. Or if my house burns down, people will come in and changa watanijengea. Oh, that has to die because we've been given the power to create wealth. And God wants to see us putting that power into use. Can we afford a funeral cash cover? COVID ilitufunza. Kuna mazishi huko, your best friend akona mazishi, hata ulo litegemea akona mazishi. Na wewe pia umepatwa. So who will come to bury for you? So we need to also know how to get that covered. At 60, 61, you're supposed to be able to afford a good annuity of around 3 million to 5 million. Annuity means you're putting some money aside that can give you a monthly income, and you've just given that money to an institution to give you a monthly income. Can you release 3 million or 5 million to a company if you didn't have any other money? Can you? Uko tu na 5 million, that's what maybe you're stepping in with into retirement. Can you give it to a company so that they start giving you a monthly income every month? No. You'll only be able to release the 5 million if you've already created another 10 million somewhere. We owe it to ourselves to learn and know. In other words, I'm asking, can you afford 200,000 every year to pay for all this? No, you don't go bankrupt. It's a good question. The good news is that we are able to do that. So the talk of today is to teach us only 3 things. We want to learn how can we create cash flow. And cash flow means that when I'm asking you for 20K, you don't have to borrow. If I'm asking you for 500,000, you don't have to borrow. If okay, thank you. So we want to learn cash flow. You must make sure that by the time you're getting to you're young, by the time you're getting to your 40th year or 35, if I'm asking you for $1 million, you should give it to me from your own savings. By the time you're hitting 60, if I'm asking you for 5 million, it should be there in your kitty. Isn't that nice? Number 2, you must be a self-made millionaire, or you're moving towards becoming one and you know it. There's something you're doing about that. A self-made millionaire means you started saving, maybe imeanza na 500 peke yake, imefika 3,000, imefika 500,000, it's 1 million now, it's going to 2 to 3 to 4 and above. And the most important, you must create an automatic source of income. You must be having money that is hitting your account every single month, whether you wake up to work or not. There are guys here who have done for Bill Gates. Akilala, wanasemanga every minute is creating how much? Akibreathe too, in, out. His account is hitting the billions that are just coming in. We may not start like him, but we want to be sure that as you sit, you can say you know that there's something that is coming. So we just want to learn how do we plan to actually get there. So we're only going to learn 4 terminologies. Understanding these 4 things will just put your finances into an organized manner. So what is active investment? That one we know as a people. Active ni kuamuka kuenda job. That's what they told us. Work hard, get a job. Si ni kweli? Yeah, we've worked hard to get a job. So, what we do as a people, when you get your money, can write here, I hope everyone can see, you get a job or you're in business. If it's doing well and there's good money coming in, most of us are going to say, let me start an Uber business as I continue running my job or my business. So when the Uber business is running well, maybe you've put in your brother na ameokoka ile ya huko Eli. Unajua, if it's doing well, the Uber business will be multiplied times what? Sema nilianza na 1, sasa niko na ngapi? 3. Sasa niko na 3. Each one is giving me around 100K. So at least naingiza 300K every month. My job is doing well, or my business is still doing well. If this person is having 300K here, naturally as a Kenyan, what do we think? How can I use the 300K coming in monthly to take a loan that I can just do rentals for that plot that you bought? And when this rental is doing well, and there's money here, there's money here, there's money here, you'll actually say, let me do another rental. You already now you're a very good businessman, you're able to control all that, and you're doing very well. If this curve can rise, you're having all this good money. This is a person in our society we call what? Rich. They have very good cash flow. The people will be having the big cars, the kids are in big schools, they're doing well in life. But we are telling you that under the active investment, this curve can actually drop down to zero overnight. How? Or gradually. In case of death, in case of total permanent disability, and there's no one to fit in that shoe to do what you are doing. You are saying, oh, gari zote zimejazwa mafuta, umetuma hiyo report, sawa. Agent, nini, ati nyumba gapi, and then you manage all that, na unakimbia job. And sometimes utaanza hata kazi yako, utaanza kurun maybe another business. Because of this element, we are telling Kenyans, please, a percentage of your active investment must be hidden away. That is the core of this concept. Don't consume 100% of the monies that you're receiving from whatever incomes that are coming in. Please remember yourself. Remember to pay yourself first. In fact, we say remove a percentage from your active investment and push it to your passive investment. So active investment, it is you working for money. Passive is money working for you. We need to know how. That is the missing link in our society. Nobody is showing us a way that we can push money somewhere. We continue with our active investment and get to a place. So we'll discuss about how money can work for you in the illustration. The other thing you need to understand is quick money. What is quick money? Quick money is money that lands in your lap, like your salary. Every month, it is there. Every month, it is there. Or that merry-go-round that you're doing with friends. Every 10 months, the money is there. Or that deal. Mtu umeniambia niuzie hii plot, nitakupatia 100k umeuza. It's a deal, it lands. We call that quick money. Again, we will tell you your quick money a percentage must be hidden. Actually, we tell you that your wealth is hidden in your quick money. Because all the monies that are coming in is actually quick money. All monies that you're receiving is quick money. But you convert a percentage to conservative money. I've put that in red there because I usually say, hiyo yote Abigail ataongea hapa. Hata kama hautakumbuka, if you forget anything that I'm saying, that word, you must know what is conservative money, where it is, your conservative money, and you must be able to understand hiyo ni ile pesa unalinda. That's where your wealth is hidden. So what is conservative money? Conservative money is old money. It is respected money. We say it is your best friend. Ni ule rafiki atatembea na wewe from the time umejua this is conservative money, mtatembea na yeye, atakuzindikisha until the time you go 6 feet under, na tabaki hapo akingoja kuchukuliwa over na the next generation. That is what you leave as the inheritance to the next generation. And we are going to look at it as an illustration. Examples of conservative money is money that you have in your circle. If you're in a circle somewhere, and I always tell people, just look for a good circle and just start putting the minimum, especially when you are young. Usieke pesa mingi sana. Let it be minimum so that it just continue growing and accumulating as you head towards retirement. If you've bought an insurance plan, or if you're going to buy an insurance plan today, that is conservative money. Why? You've taken it today, and in the next 10 years, money will be coming. In the next 5 years, money will be coming. In the next 15 years, money will be coming. That we call conservative money. If you buy shares in a company that does not go under, that is conservative money. It's money that is waiting to translate tomorrow. If you've bought a piece of land or plots, that is money waiting to come in tomorrow. If you have money in a fixed account, money in your bank is not conservative money, it's quick money, because hiyo tunaendea tunakula. But unfortunately, where we are shooting ourselves in the foot is you have money in the conservative kitty, maybe it is your insurance plan, it matures, and then you use that money as what? As quick money. Yes, you waited for 10 years, received your 2 million, but you push it again to the side of active investment. And that money just, if you put it in the coal business, what happens? If you put it in the business they're telling you, oh, sijui tunafanya football, sijui nini, weka pesa will multiply, it all goes. So that's why we call conservative money your best friend. You don't give it away, you keep it. And we'll see how we actually do that. Are we clear about the 4 terminologies? This story was in the newspaper, and from here I'm going to run very fast. I just wanted us to get the concept first so that now from here we can actually move very fast. We don't want to be like Gideon. Gideon was suing his own son at age 73 for upkeep. He wants 20% of his money to sustain him and his wife during old age. Please don't make your kids pension schemes. When I see young faces, you're thinking, am I a pension scheme for my parents? So look at your parents. How are they taking care of their parents? I know a young man who told the mother, hey, mom, me I hope umejipanga. I hope umejipanga. Unaona vile shosho na kunyonya do zako. So we don't want to get there. So preparation can actually get there. I've written a quote there. If you don't take the time to prepare for the life you desire, you will finally be forced to spend a lot of time living a life you do not want. We need to get there. Which one is it going to be? You can tell who has money and who has not. Sindio? Yes, it's a choice. That's why I read that verse. That before man, there's always a choice. And every choice you make has its own consequences. So as in all successful ventures, the foundation of a good retirement is planning. That is Al Nightingale. I'm not talking about retirement, but I'm talking about the journey towards there. We owe it to ourselves to create good money. Okay, that's another question. The question isn't at what age I want to retire. It's at what income. And I found people who say, mi sitaki kuandikwa forever, mi nataka nianze biashara yangu. There's no difference. Oh. Did you pick the first one? Who put it for me? It's okay. I think he picked the second one, not the first one that I'd put in, but it's okay. I'll be able to still work with this. Because I knew the next slide that was coming was for Robert Kiyosaki, but I think it's okay. Yeah, this is what I was actually looking for. I just prepared it. So, if a person says, this is Robert Kiyosaki, how many people have read books by him? Anyone? Which one? Yeah, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I've borrowed a lot from that book in whatever I'm talking here. And he's written this other book, The Quadrant, Cash Flow Quadrant. It's worth reading. And he says that income will only come from 4 quarters. From E, employment, where you exchange your time and effort for an income. You don't work, you don't get paid. The S is self-employment or small business. So if you're self-employed, again, you work for yourself, but can you take a 6-week holiday, and your business continues to run? No. If you're sick, it gets sick. If you're on holiday, it goes on holiday. So the left side of the quadrant, it is active investment. You have to work for money. And we are telling ourselves that we must cross over not really crossover. We must have one leg on the right side for us to make a difference in our lives. So B stands for big business. These are people who have people working hard for them. They are employers, and they're able to generate a good income. The I, the big businesses, we are still telling them, some people, did Nakumat go under? Those are the companies that we know. So the quadrant to watch is the I. All of us need to enter the investment quadrant. These are people that have money working hard for them. They can play golf and live a good life. And the good thing is that when you start early, you can actually get to this status very early. So mine is to show us how to get into that quadrant. I think we went through that. So the big question is, how long could you live at your current lifestyle if you stopped working today? You stopped working today and stopped generating an income. Mshahara isikose kukuja next month. How long can you live? So the day you will say, I can go for a whole year, or 2 years, or 3 years, then you are entering the class of the wealthy. And that's what we look at. So this was a survey that was done, a graphic research of 100 people when they were 25 years old. They took clusters of 100 people when they were 25 years old. And I can see 25 years here or younger. And we say 25-year-olds are visionary. There are people who say, hey, mimi, sitarudia makosa ya mama yangu. I will not repeat my father's mistakes. These people, Malone's killer, sir. So you know the mistakes your parents have made? So you know them. You're telling yourself, I will not repeat them. But in this survey, they came back to the same clusters after 40 years. How old are these guys? 65. And from the statistics, we are being told we are going to be part of this. You're going to be part of this, either at the top of the pyramid, or middle, or at the end. And they're telling us 49 out of 100 will be dependent on friends, charity, and relatives. So watumia hapa, nusu will be dependents. Those are the people, akigonjeka, anachukuliwa anapelekwa hospitali, na anarudishwa nyumbani. That's what we are doing for our parents today, our generation. Unamwandikia mfanyikazi wa nyumba na wa shamba. Unamnunulia washing machine. You do the shopping for the month. They're actually dependents. And they're the lucky ones in our society. We are not so sure whether we are going to fit in that class when you're not sure whether your children will take care of you that way. So, we need to be ready. 29, unfortunately, will be dead. And these are people we say they stepped into retirement with a plan, and then something went haywire. Maybe you put your 3 million in coal business, and in 6 months it's done, finished. You don't have your money, you don't have a business. Or somebody got sick after you stepped into retirement. So stress is going to make a lot of people not survive the retirement period. 12 will be broke. These are people without any asset that they can liquidate. They have no asset they can liquidate. 5 will still be working. So you are waking up every day to open that business or to report to work. 4 will be financially independent. Only 4 will be rich. This one I had to change a bit. Only 4 will be rich. The rich we were describing there. A person who has a big piece of land, they have 5 or 2 or 1 rental houses. They have businesses they started that are already running well. In other words, they have a good periodic income. That is the 4%. Then we have the 1% who is going to be wealthy. And these are people we say, they're people who can sit and eat the rest of their life. Na akue hana shida. Our work, me and my team, we're usually a very big team, we've learned and trained ourselves how to teach Kenyans to be the 1 out of 100. How can we train you to be that person who can create a fund that can take care of it? So now I'm actually entering into the figures. We just see what it is that we do. How many guys know Albert Einstein? You have heard? How many know his hairstyle? It's unique, eh? So this guy was wise. And you can imagine when he lived. And he said, compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who knows it, earns it. He who doesn't, pays it. So there's a lot of money we are throwing away without understanding, without knowing. Money that should be coming back to us. Money that should be coming back to us. Money that we should be on our side, not the other side. So compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. We want you to understand the power and force of compound interest. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is where you make a difference in your life if you can be able to harness the monies that you're keeping aside. I just decided to put this one here to show how much money we are losing. You can just look at the last column where there's 5 million, loan amount of 5 million. Somebody picks a loan of 5 million because they're able to pay an installment in 60 months of how much per month? 158. You can see 158 at the end in yellow. Because he's able to afford that, he takes a loan. But by the time he's done, in those 60 months, he has actually paid an interest of 4.5 million. So how much money has he given back to the lender? How much? How much? 9.5 million. So you wanted 5 million, but you're buying it with how much? With 4.5. Does it make sense? So we need, loans are good, loans must be there, we must use them, but we are saying, can we have a culture where we can be patient first to build a fund that can allow us to take loans without necessarily hurting ourselves too much, because we may not regulate the interests that are there, but there's a way that we can actually be able to be patient a bit, delay gratification a bit. Delaying gratification means you're not running quickly to own that car. You're not running quickly to build. You're not running quickly to take a mortgage. You're not running quickly to start living. You want first of all to do something so that you can become stable and build a strong foundation that will actually get you there. So these are usually the vehicles we discuss when we have time. We may not be able to go through them. They are all good. If you're doing Forex, cryptocurrency, if you're good at it, if it's making money for you, it's good. But the only thing I say, please understand the vehicle you're choosing. You must know why you're choosing a Forex. You must know the ups and downs of that vehicle that you've chosen. You must know whether it is high risk or low risk. People never ask that question when they are entering into an investment. High risk, is it high risk? Is it low risk? High risk, you normally will give you very good returns. Low risk will give you lower returns, but steady. And mostly, it's good to always ask, is my capital guaranteed? The money I've put in, is it money that will remain there, or can it be affected by this vehicle that I've chosen? So those are questions to ask. I've put in red life assurance. It's a low risk. It's something you control. You cannot lose your money. If you're running with it all the way to the end, there's money market fund. Again, you cannot lose your money. Your capital is guaranteed. And when you've made real good money, you can think of private wealth. For you to open a private wealth account, you need a minimum of 1 million. So I'll teach you how to create the 1 million so that we can talk about private wealth in the next 2 or 3 years when you've already been able to bring up. So usually, I will tell you, are there babies? Tumeleta watoto? Bado? Can see no? Watoto? There should be some kids there, maybe here. I don't know. But whether they are here or not, if the babies come, we need to know that how do we not let them down? How tutasema atubahatishi kama watasoma ama hawatasoma. So I just put this slide here to just guide us so that even when the babies come, and by the way, let me say something, because I may not be with you tomorrow, and somebody, I hope you'll take my number at the end to call me when your babies come, but maybe my number will not go through, or maybe somebody else will come to you. Please never take an education plan for a child who is not yet born. Agents, us, we will push you. Tukiona tu katumbo kidogo, we really want to ensure that baby before the baby comes. I'm just giving you some little advice. Wait for the baby to come, know the name, put the name of your child on that form. There are things that happen that can be painful for us. So, and an education plan is specifically for education, so its rating is a bit higher, it's different, and there's no need for somebody to take it when you don't have the baby. Sio ni sawa? So if somebody decides to pay 3,000 for a child maybe who is in grade 1 or grade 2 there, the child's age will dictate how long you are going to take that plan, because we target when that child is in senior 1. You know the new system? The senior 1 to college year 3. You're targeting those 3 years, so your 2,000 will actually give you those checks as their. So the first year you'll get a 32K, the second year another 32, the third year you get 48, the fourth year 48,000, the fifth year you get 80,000, the final year you get 160. That amount is dictated by the 3,000 you're giving. If you give 2,000 and the child maybe is younger, maybe that's your second born, so uyo akona more years before they start receiving their money, you can see your 2,000 will give you higher. But don't worry, that is something we talk when we sit one-on-one and just get to know where your child is. So we are using insurance as a vehicle, and we are using money market as a vehicle. Why are we using insurance as a vehicle? We're using a life insurance plan because number one, it is regulated by IRA. It is not something, it's not people who wake up and start taking money from people. They're actually regulated, and they can actually be taken to a court of law if they breach any contract between you and them. The other reason why we use an insurance plan, it's because immediately you start giving in your money, you're actually in a win-win situation. If you've given us 10,000 or 5,000, and you've bought a policy worth 1 million, from that moment that policy is running and you have the documentation, you're actually worth the 1 million. So it raises your net worth. It raises your worth. And that is one of the good reasons. The other is that in case somebody dies and that plan is running, immediately your family members will receive that value. If it was the 1 million, they'll receive the 1 million, and maybe you've only contributed for only 6 months or for only 1 year, but they will receive the actual worth that was calculated when you took the policy. It also gives you discipline to continue saving the money. Sometimes that's what lacks, not sometimes, all the time. In Kenya, what lacks is the discipline. People are able to put money. If you don't have mtoto, una bwana, una bibi, anakusumbua, you keep money. But immediately, mahitaji imeanza kukua mingi, we realize that we cannot be able to have money there, and there's trouble here. We need money. We need to know, insurance allows you to wait for those 5 years, for those 10 years. And then it also helps you to create wealth. And that's what we'll be able to show you here. How can you use an insurance plan to create wealth for yourself? Another thing, KRA will give you tax relief of 15% of whatever you're giving in the whole year. They'll give it back to you as a relief. Lona taxman akirudishia mtu pesa. Anakurudishia taxman. Yesi mnamjua KRA. Akurudishie pesa. Anyway, they put this law because when insurance was introduced in Kenya, people were refusing to take it. They were saying, me, I'm covered by the blood of Jesus Christ. I don't need an insurance plan. So they were actually being persuaded by being given something little back. So it's something that actually saves you money on the side when you've taken it. I'm rushing a bit because I need to explain the chart. What is money market? What is a money market fund? How many people have opened bank accounts? Here, you have a bank account. The day you opened that bank account is the day you should have opened a money market fund account. That's what I tell people. Sometimes I'm talking to people who are 58, 59, going towards 60. They've never heard of money market, and that's how much they've lost in the compounding effect they should have been doing with their money. So a money market account, we normally say it is a low risk fund. It is regulated by Capital Market Authority. You know CMA? Yes, it's regulated by CMA. We call it low risk because your capital is guaranteed. There's no way you can push money in a money market fund, 100K, and find 99. It can never go down. You earn compound interest. That one I've said. Compound interest means there's no single month you're closing with the same capital. Uliacha ikiwa 100, next month iko 101, next month iko 102, the other month iko 105. It will continue growing. The money is real time. You get monthly statements every month. And those statements come in through your email. So if you have your smartphone, you can actually access. The money is real time. It means your money is accessible to you 24/7. You can access it just the way you handle your bank account. The same way. And it also gives you an average interest of around 10% per annum. These are rates that are in the newspaper every day. So we create an interest to start looking at that. We've been able to get that. Are we ready for figures? So later I came to find out that this is Jim Rohn who wrote this. That the secret to financial success is to spend what you have left over after saving instead of saving what is left after spending. So many people say, sina pesa itoshi. But we tell you, kwanza toa ile yako ya savings. Then whatever remains, work with that. That is paying yourself first. That is ensuring that there is money that is going to knock your door in the future. If you start with expenses and expenditure, it means money will run away from your door. At least we can see that. We can see that. Let me explain from here. So this is a 30-year-old person. And the 30-year-old person has a child, a toddler. So a toddler will always go for 18 years, the term, the period. So I've just given 5,000. This is actually a real case scenario. Somebody is putting 5,000 towards the education of their child. And they know that by the time the child gets to junior one or senior one, whatever is going to be appropriate for that baby, they are going to receive 84,000, 126, 126, 211, and 42. That's the Bima ya Karo that we have. And this check is coming in every year towards the school fees payment of that parent. If a parent feels this is too small, they add the 5,000. If they feel that is too high, you reduce it. And you will see throughout the term, if you understand the concept holistically, you can actually remove fear of having no school fees for your child. Our advice is that you as a person, and I know we may not have, most of us don't have children here, so maybe you can go to the next slide and do the same for me. The next one? Yes. And then you can pull it for me the same way. So I've removed the Bima ya Karo so that we can just see if you're here and you don't have a baby. If you have a baby, don't worry, we can still talk about it. What is it that I can do to create the millions you are talking about? And we'll always tell you, make sure if your finances can allow you, take a short-term plan and a long-term plan together. The short-term plan is a plan that gives you a check within the next 4 years or the next 5 years. And from there, you'll be creating a check every 4 years, every 4 years, or every 5 years. So I've put in a plan for Hekima, whereby by a person putting in 500,000, on the 5th year, it gives you a check of 122. On the 10th year, it gives you a check of 171. On the 15th year, it gives you 675. And I think you can note that it is a bit light at the beginning, but heavy at the end. It's on purpose. It's because in case this person dies while this plan is running, immediately this person dies, the 491 that is at the top there, that is the value of the plan. This person is going to receive 491,000 immediately. Umetoa 6 months, umeaga dunia, beneficiary ule ulikuwa umeandika atapewa the 491, and it comes with a guaranteed bonus of 2.5% per annum. So they will add whatever interest you have earned. If you are dying here, again, they'll still pay the 491 and the accrued bonuses up to that time. If a person does not die, and that's always our prayer, you receive your 122 and your 171 and your 675. When that policy is running, when you receive the money, we tell you that when you receive 122,000, Peter, unaona unaweza kula 122 na siku ngapi? Iko kwa bank. Kwa weekend utasema acha twende Mombasa, at least kutoa kujirudishia shukrani. Wakenya wamependa hiyo. So unajirudishia shukrani na pesa yako ya kesho. So kesho ikifika huna. So tutaweka ya shukrani na tunaweka ya this one is basically conservative money. When the 122 comes, we tell you you're not out of the woods yet. Hide it in the money market fund. We'll see now when we stretch to the other end. Let me first of all explain this. When your 171 comes, you'll push it. When your third comes, you'll push it to the money market. We'll look at the effect. Then, if you can afford another 5,000, take a long-term plan where you're getting a heavy check on the 10th year. Why are we doing that? This one is putting money quickly in your pocket, and it's starting you off in a money market fund where money is starting to grow. We know that is our problem as Kenyans. Nikiitisha nikikwambia nipatie 500k sahi, Peter, utaniambia ngoja kwanza nikaone. So we want you to have money as quick as possible in your own fund, money that is actually multiplying as you sit here. So that's why we decide to give this plan. This one is going to give you a heavier check, but you're going to wait a longer period. But you can see in the plan, the way we've put it, you'll already have received this and this. So you want to see, and then when this one matures after 10 years, the plan is, if a person is going to get this concept, sitarudisha this 5k kwa mfuko. I'll not allow it to go back to my net for me to consume. I will call Abigail again, and I'm going to fill in another plan so that in another 10 years I still have what? Another 764,000. We are clear on that one. And because a young person can play this game, I think 3 times. If you can see the whole chart, this one is actually 3 times. This one can mature and they still get a new Hekima to create the same amounts. So in other words, this person is saving 10,000, and we want to see how it looks like. You can push for me, kindly. We want to see if you've created, number one, have you understood how we are creating these checks? You've taken an insurance plan, and you know that you're getting the lump sums when that money comes. And then when the money comes, you are now pushing it into the money market. These 3 columns is an illustration of the money market fund. You can push it this way. That one is good. You can see from the back. Ama yeke kubwa kidogo. You can still put it a bit bigger. Yes. At least you can see that. So when the 120, remember we said this is a concept. This is a plan. You do it. Ni kama shamba yako unalima, unapalilia, unaiangalia. It's the knowledge you have that causes you to go this direction. This is what is giving us, some of us, the confidence to step into retirement. So when the 122 comes and you push it into the money market fund, if you work with the 10% per annum, per year it is going to give you 12,200 per year. Per month, you divide that by 12, you'll actually be creating 1,000 every month. Now you're sitting in your office, and this end month, kuna thao itaingia kwa account yako na si wewe umeweka. Isn't that nice? This is only the beginning. By the end of the first year, you move from 122,000 to 135,000. By the end of the second year, you are at 148. End of third year, you are at 163. End of the fourth year, you are at 179. But by the time you're stepping into your fifth year, you are at 1.1 million. How? How did you jump to that? It's because you have the 2 checks, the 700 and the 171, giving you 936K, and that's a boost that actually jumps you to 1.1. And that's the advantage you're talking about insurance. It allows you to wait for 5 years to receive your 1 million. Otherwise, if this money was just in an account somewhere, utakula tu. Sini kweli? Yeah, you'll help your friends. By the time hata sisi tunakula. Do you know you have professionals? They don't tell you they are professionals, but they are professionals, budgeters. They budget on your payslip. There are people who will budget on your play. Tunasema mimi siwezi peana. Like right now I have 7 groups waiting for me to contribute for dowry, weddings, medical, fundraisers. I don't know what else. Where will that money come from? If I give everyone 1,000, 7,000 nilieka wapi ya kupeana? And if I don't pay for one person, si watanifanya adui. So that's why I'm saying culture ya kuchanga ni sisi tutamaliza. If this person is having 1 million, they're already at 113 per year, and they're already at 9,000 per month. By the time they're getting to their 15th year, they're already at 2.5 million. Giving them 250 per year, they're already now at 20,800 per month. And this one haijiandiki hapa. You walk like an ordinary girl with no money. I was surprised you're saying ati inaonekana. It's not supposed to show. When people know you have money, wanaanza kupangia hiyo pesa yako. Ngojeni, you are looking me with innocent faces. Ngoja mufike hapo. We have professionals. They are your sisters, they are your brothers, your cousins, your aunties, your uncles, your parents. Wanapangianga payslip yako. You can pull for me down. We want to see at age 61. If you're diligent with the plan and you never touched, you never removed, by the time you're stepping into retirement, ulinyamazia, holding everything constant. Hukuongeza, hukutoa, apart from what your 10K is doing for you, you'll actually be at 16.8 million. Giving you 1.6 million per year, giving you 140,000 per month. Can you step into retirement easy? Yeah, if you have 140 hitting your account every month, and you don't have to wake up and work, money market will not let you down. It is low risk. That's why we're calling it low risk. And if you're wondering why Jimmy Kibaki, hatujasikia ni amejenga sijui building gani ama gani, this is where the rich are hiding their money. I know Chris Kirubi had 600 million in one company alone. Can you do 10% of 600 million? 60 million. How much was he creating per month? 60 million divided by 12. 5 million. 60 million divided by 12. And that was only one company. How much is that? 5 million per month. That's why anaenda tu kwa studio kuongelesha tu watu. And you can imagine na hiyo pesa akirudi achukue aweke in another fund. This is passive investment. And the good thing with your 2K, with your 3K, with your 5,000, with your 10,000, you can start a journey today here. By the time you're getting to another 10 years there, 20 years there, 30 years there, you are actually going to be a self-made millionaire. And the beauty of this is that if all of you here, how many are we? Let me work with 20. If you're 20 of us in this room, and we are friends, and we're in this church together, and we've all started, let's assume all of us are doing the 10, because this is 5 and 5. By the time you're getting to age 50, if all of us are within the 5.4 million, it means you're having 45,000 per month. If we have 5.9 million in a fund, all of us, ukona 50 million, 5 million, sorry. You have the 5 million. Tukuje pamoja hapa tuseme, guys, can't we be the sole suppliers of water in this area? Tunataka kuendea hiyo machine. China. It's costing 30 million. Mtasema hapa kila mtu autoe milioni 2, 3, and now you go into a mega business. See, young people are smart. You register a company and now you hatutafanya hizi vitu ndogo ya kununua plot ya 40k Juja. Can we be the people who are going to do those mega businesses in this country? When you have such good leaders here, people who truly have you at heart, and people who know if we're keeping money aside, we are going to use it towards our better tomorrow. It means that we can actually change the way we are doing things. This is why I say delay gratification first, put some little money aside, wait for the 5th year. Let the money come, hide it, let it start growing. Now between year 1 and year 5, we expect you to be pushing what you can into that money market fund. Bado unarusha tu, ukipata kitu tu unarusha huko tu. Then get to the 10th year, you are now at 2 million or 3 million. Get to the 15th year, you are at 15 million, you are at 5 million. Then, you remember I talked about loans. This is an individual. We'll tell you, now you can say, I don't want to attach my pay slip ama biashara yangu direct. Ianza kuaffect biashara yangu ama ianza kuaffect my net. You can tell money market, like the time you're 47, you have 20. We don't expect you to be having 3.3. We expect that to be more, if you have understood the concept. Simuelewa hiyo? Because unaendelea kurusha, uliongeza ka policy kengine na kengine. You're supposed to manipulate. Hii, wacha ifike around here, wacha hii zikuje huku juu. If you're having like 5.9, with the 49,000 hitting your account every month, you can tell money market, stop compounding my interest. And let the money land in my bank account. So every second, a third of the month, the 49K hits your account. Now, you can go to the bank and tell the bank, I want a loan. Take a loan, 2 million. You'll be paying 49,000 every month. And with your loan of 3 million, nunua uba zako 5. You are young, you can run. And you can run that business and still do whatever you're doing. And furthermore, there are very good systems that you can install and be able to run it even from your palm of your hand. We need to go to those bigger things now. And this you're doing as an individual. What if you're doing it as a team? I'm so impressed with the guys who are doing this bus called what? Metro. Metro is a company that is just pushing all the other companies out. You can imagine, ni wao tu, kwani zinatoka wapi hizo basi? They are adding another and another and another, and they are making the queues shorter and shorter and shorter. They are just organized people somewhere who have good money. And they can say, by the end of it, the 20 of us, basi zetu 20 ndio zita dominate this route. Or we are going to buy tractors and ama kitu ya kuchimba boreholes. Now you are going to go mega. Can you see that point? Able to see it? Yes, I think now you can make it go smaller then. Yes. So I just, that is the 10,000. It's the one that is giving you 15 million by the time you're 60. That is 5,000. If a person says, I'm actually doing 5,000, we'll still give you short-term and long-term. Oh, this is for Chama. Sorry. This is the Chama I was talking about for 20 people. You've seen I put it there at the top. I just wanted to provoke you because if Chamas are going to run, we've got to stop doing the old school way of merry-go-round. Unangoja 10 months, pesa inakuja unakula. 10 months, unakula. 10 months, unakula. So we need to start saying, wacha tukue na ya kukula, and then tukue na ile tunajua atukuli. If these are 20 people, and they're putting their money in the same way we've discussed, by the time they're age 45, they were 30-year-olds, they're actually going to have, by the time they're, in 5 years' time, they were 30 years old. By age 35, their kitty is going to have 2.4 million. Giving 245 per year, giving 20,000 per month as a team. By the time they are clocking 60, we are talking of crazy figures, 122 million. So I'll have to ask, why are we poor if 5,000 can actually give a team this kind of money? Good question. Why are we poor? And while it is running, in case somebody dies, the 491 is what goes to that family. So those are different dynamics. I just decided to add that one here, but I think we'll be able to understand. So the whole concept is for you to diversify. Ensure, if you started off with this plan, you have money growing in a money market fund. Now you can take a loan and buy the land. Now you can take the loan and buy shares or do forex business if you love it, or start that other business. Now you can diversify and have multiple sources of income. The red thing I've put down there, kindly avoid the get-rich-quick offers. You are being timed. There are professionals out there who are timing your money. Be wise to know that you cannot actually do that. So when you invest, you're actually buying a day. You do not have to work. I've just changed that saying. You can actually have your cake and eat it. If you've already put in 5 million and it's giving you 500,000 every year, so unakula hiyo 500 na bado the 5 million remains. It's the new culture, and we need to start talking about it while we get there. This was an advert. This was an advert in the newspaper. Yeah, unaenda kwa bazaar. Mwambia bazaar, next week ndio cheki yetu inakuwa released. Nakwambia mzazi, 5 minutes hapo and ukuje tuongee. So paying education fee should never be. We need to plan and plan early. There's no elevator to success. You have to take what? Step by step, build it and get there. So we are here. You know, we are only 3 of us, you're many. Please, you're going to take our numbers. I think we should have just put something. Or we can just find out the people who would be interested. We normally put a paper to go around. James, today you failed me. Oh, you thought we can use that one. Oh, good. You didn't fail me. Thank you. So that those who are interested, we can talk. We can call you. You can call us. That's my number over there. Because this is a talk, we just like sitting down with you one-on-one There's a person with one baby, one has two, one has none, one has two businesses running. I know most of us are on the online businesses. They're not stable. So we give you advice according to that. Until you get a permanent job, then you can do something more permanent. We don't want anybody losing their money. So that you keep making sure that you're digging deeper with the concept and you grow the money. So if you save money today, money will save you tomorrow. Have a life without worry. I'm done. Unless there are questions.
Wow. As I hand her this bottle of water, because she really requires one. Yes. Yes. If you save money today, money will save you tomorrow. Kesho ndio Sunday. Leo, kesho tutaongea kuhusu Yesu kukuokoa. Yes, we'll put Jesus will save you. But for today, we need to put the concept straight that you are still in the earth, here in the world. So, questions? Thank you for your patience. I know some of you came without taking breakfast. But here we are. Yes. Let's start from the corner here. Shoot it.
My question is, the money you're contributing for a start, the 5,000, do you contribute it once or you do it annually?
It's monthly. We say that's the power of your income. Money market, you put in lump sums. That's power of your lump sums. Yes.
Okay, my name is Liz. Thank you so much, Madam Abigail, for the beautiful talk. My question is, okay, I personally am a student. For example, maybe I saw you talking about chama. Maybe I'm in chama. Sisemi niko chama, mtu aniambie niingize ama nini. Maybe I'm in chama. And left, right, center, the only money I get, maybe weekly or daily, is from my parents. I have no any other way of income. But I have to contribute for that chama. In the same way, I have to save. Maybe the chama has 20 people. Each person is contributing 500. 500. And I have to save money. Left, right, center, I have no any other form of getting money apart from my parents. And you know, as students, kuna kitu inaitwanga kuinama. Tutainama lunchtime, ndio save pesa ya chama. How will I be saving without a lot of stress?
I wish I would understand what it means, kuinama. You can just...
Right, center, left, right.
It's a very good question. And if there are students here, they are the best. They are okay, all of us. I keep saying it doesn't matter at what age you are at. But I actually want to run a class for standard 4s, grade 4s and above. Because this lesson should have been taught in our primary school. That's when we should have started putting aside. So you remember vile unapewa so na auntie. What do? You run. Unapeana, you can't even reach pale hivyo. Hata change ujue tu pesa imekuja umeingiza, but utapumzika wakati hiyo pesa itaisha. And that culture, we carry it all the way to our 60th year. So I will tell you, if you're paying chama, you are rich. That chama must get to a place where you're getting your lump sum. Sini kweli? Si umetoa, I don't know whether it will come every month ama every, kuna wala wanafanyanga twice or whatever. Sasa unafaa kupangia the money when it comes. That's why we put chama under quick money, because definitely if you put, how many are you? How much do you get at what? At hiyo chama unaosema wanapatanga after how long? Every week. Wanatoa na kila mtu anapata kila wiki. Ni kama wangapi? 20. So if it's 20, it means
That
how
is
long?
10K.
It's
That
10K.
is 10K.
After how long?
Every week somebody gets 10K.
Every week somebody is getting 10K. Hey, that is how much per month? So I will also tell you, people say there's no money because wanadharau 100. Wanadharau 500. If you, maybe story for another day. Unajua sikutaka kuwaweka hapa sana. Mimi mkiniambia niongee hata msinipe maji, I can talk up to evening. So nyinyi ndio mnaweza umia. But another day we will talk about how you can hide money in your, if it's kama niyo unapata pesa kwa wazazi, what are you cutting down on? It's up to you. I usually like parking my car in Pizza Inn, karibu na KMKU ya Thika town, the Pizza Inn. You guys have been there. They carry the big sodas, those unaona tu mtu na tray. JKUAT na MKU. And it's your parents' money. If a person knew this, I will tell them, usiende daily. At least enter once. How much have you saved for those 4 times you didn't go? Now that's what you are converting to conservative money. And you can still break it into 2 to go quick and conservative. Bado unaweka, hii ni ile sitaguza, hii ni ile naweza guza. That's why nini comes in. But that person is very rich. In fact, hata tusiseme sema hata anapata 10K every month. We prolong it. Si ndio? Tuseme tu hiyo chama wanatoa hiyo 500 every month, anatengeza 10K. 10K, so you put your kaplan here. Or you decide 500 will go to money market every month, 500 will go to my short term and long term. You get? There's no escape. Even that lady anasukuma mayai hivi, tunamwambia ekanga 50 bob every day. 50 bob every day, weka kwa account. End month, she can actually do a 2K. I've answered you. Okay. Yes?
Okay, that was loud enough. With an existing life, with an existing life policy, right? Assuming I have 2 of them. Okay, not assuming, I have 2 of them. So, is it possible to move it from a particular, from Brigham, to move it to, move one from Brigham to Madison, as in give that? Is it possible to move, like the way you can move as a student, you can move your credits from JKUAT to KU, something like that? Is it possible for you to, instead of me starting afresh and had like something started?
Is it active? Are you still contributing?
Yes.
So number 1, congratulations. If you're saving money, you're the people who are breaking that old culture. Only if somebody is not told what to do with the money, later utaikula yote narudi back to 0. And that's what we're trying to arrest. That when you receive your lump sums, you know it's not for consumption. No, I will not even allow you to move, because I'm born again. And I love people, and I don't want people to lose money. Yeah, most people will tell you, yes, they'll bring you papers, they'll tell you this one is for moving from that company to this company. And as soon as we start deducting this other side, you realize you're being deducted twice. That's what people will do. I'm just giving you some good advice. When somebody comes to tell you, yeah, we can move, because they want the money that you're giving there, this other side. What I'll do with you, I'll draw you a chart and see what you have. I'll put it in a chart there. I'll see whether it is short term or if it's taken long term. How is it going to serve you? Then if you have some little more money that you can push aside, then as little as 2K, no, just listen. it is going to come. It's an advantage because you're not where a person who has not taken is. You're going to say, with my 2,000, I can now give you a long-term plan. Nitairusha huko kwa 15 years. So you'll realize your 2,000 can actually give you a 2 million 15 years down the line. Something your friend here will not be able to do because he has to start with short-term with the others. So you are many steps ahead. Yeah.
Does with the life within Kenya by RA, does it support if you move outside the country, something like that?
Yes.
Okay.
We even have people in diaspora who are just signing in. We send them the forms, they sign in, and they start pushing money into their own funds. Yes, it's possible.
You have talked about the money market fund. I was asking what is advantageous, a SACCO or the money market? Because a SACCO, you can get a loan at a cheaper interest. There's the dividends. So like I've never heard of the money market fund, and I've seen it's really advantageous, but I'm saving using a SACCO. Yeah.
I always tell a person both. You need both because they're serving different purposes. Money market, the advantage is that your money lying there is earning you an interest every month. The disadvantage of a money market is that you go for the money. So you don't allow the money to remain in the fund because kiatu hiyo siachi, unaendea pesa unanunua kiatu. So money from your savings to expenditure. Or your mother saying, hey, nitafutie tu. Unaenda unamtolea 20k, unabaki zero. That's the disadvantage, that money in the money market account tunaweza guza ukitoa. If you don't have discipline, you may not accrue a lot. Advantage of a SACCO is that the money is hidden away from you. It will continue growing as you head towards retirement, and it will finally give you very good dividends. Disadvantage is, even if you want a shilling of your money, you will get, and you'll pay back with interest. And you cannot take without 2-3 people signing in that loan for you. So sometimes you can be in a SACCO and you cannot access your money like at all, unless you cancel that fund. But from my way of training the new generation, I'm telling people, enter into a SACCO not for the loans. Enter into a SACCO for emergencies. An emergency is nile kitu wezi zuilia. That time utakimbia, you can even take a loan against your own shares. Na itakusaidia na utalipa na utaendelea na maisha. Otherwise, build the money market fund. Understand. In fact, I tell people, you can even open 2. One, call it conservative. Ya Madison ni conservative, hii siguzi. Nitafungua ingine CIC. Huko sasa ndio nitaweka yangu ile. I can actually huko naweza ingia nikitoka. It's you building discipline for yourself. And it's the only thing that is going to break that old cycle that we have. The old culture that we have. I've answered you? Oh.
All right. So going back to the financial terminologies you mentioned to understand. Let's say money like scratch and win. Nimenunua sabuni, I've won myself, let's say 100k. Where do I take? That's quick money? So what do I do with that money?
So according to how much you love yourself, you'll decide what percentage you want to translate into conservative. But even if you talk like laymen, chukua your 100k, rusha kwa money market kwanza. Watu waseme si uliwindo. No, wanakuja kunusa ala, huyu jamaa ametukaukiaje na tunajua aliwin. No, because you're hiding the money somewhere they can't see, but it is growing. And then unajipanga vizuri nayo. It's you to decide how much money do I want to convert into conservative, ikae, and how much do I want to take nitumie. You're the master here. Yeah, you decide. All but right. How fast you want to grow, now will depend with how much you hide. This concept, when it came to me, I think since 2011, I went like a mad woman because I had zero. I had actually zero. I was like, I started like doing savings in a, hata nilitoa pesa yote kwa sako. Nobody was there to advise me, but I had known it's not a wise thing to do. I pushed it here. I took a loan, nikairusha ndani. Now I'm paying a loan because now my money market account is having some money na naona inaingia. But it took me one day to sit with somebody with a very good plan. Tukaitoa yote and nothing ever came back. You get? So discipline is key. So hizo zote you'll pay the cost because lazima ujijue wewe na pesa yako mna ongea lugha gani.
Then another one I would ask is, how do you factor in debt into now? You might find you have existing debt. You also want to save, but part of you is saying, let me just pay up this debt first, then I save later, or is it possible? How do you balance those two items, I'd say?
Personally, I know I talk something that is not so much out there. I usually say when you're starting this life, when you're starting the financial life, the work, debts are a must. Kwa sababu hauna, hata hii kukopa pesa tu ya credit, kukopa ni kutumia fuliza. Personally, I use it positively, but I didn't know whether to indulge into that today, because if there's an income coming in, I don't know if you're talking about big debts, it means you have to pay. Kama inakatwa kwa mshahara, be patient, mwaka ishe. Ikiisha, if you are being deducted 30k or 40k, or I know people even who are doing 100k monthly, kulipa tu a loan alichukua ya mortgage ama ya gari. But when it's done and finished, what do we do as Kenyans mostly? Take a second one. Yes, you're here. 100k imekuwa released kwa net yako. That's why we are not able to escape. I'll tell you for free, you will not escape. In fact, these days we don't wait for the loan to end. We do top-ups. And it's the bank reminding you that oh, now you qualify. So, number one is just to try to avoid. Try to see whether you can have that figure that you're paying a loan, towards a loan, come back towards your own saving. If a person is putting 30k, in another 6 or 5 years, you can actually create another 2 million or 3 million. It means you delayed first getting the 2 million, so that ikuje ikiwa neat, hakuna interest. But now we are too quick. We want fast things. But I normally say, if you're taking a loan and you're putting it into good use, in your head, just mark, is my money going to expenditure, or is my money going towards a saving or something that is going to come back? Because you could be taking a loan and pushing it to money market. So uko hapa na shida ukilipa, but you know the money is still there and is still giving you something small. After maybe umemalizana kulipa, you're 20k higher. So I think that should be a topic for another day, because we need to talk about, I normally talk about how you use your M-Shwari, your M-Pesa, your M-Shwari, your lock account, your bank account, and then your money market account. You're creating a barrier here so that when you have a need for money, you don't go direct to the money market fund. And there are people who now don't even go to money market, they go direct to the policy they took. They want the money back after 2 years, after 3 years. So we are telling you we show you how to build the barrier such that if at a job ikakatika, ukona some little money that is growing somewhere that can itakushikilia as you look for another job. You have to look for another job. You still need to eat, you still need to go to the salon, to the kinyozi. So that's a thing story for another day.
My question is just on the flexibility. So for example, ulikuwa na hii job, you're able to invest a certain amount into the money market, say 20k, you're able to do the 20k. But then because maybe in the change of jobs, ama tu maybe biashara inahitaji more effort, maybe you just need to reduce equal to maybe say 10k. Is there that flexibility? How do you go about it?
Money market has no rule. The only rule is that when you're opening, you need 5,000. Open the money market. Then from there, you'll be pushing 1,000, not less than 1,000. Anytime you need to push money into the money market, it should be 1,000 and above. You don't need to do it periodically. You do it when you have the money. That's why we are saying it's for lump sum. Money market is for lump sum. So there's no rule. Even if you want to put 10, 5, you don't want to put this month, money market will serve that way. Insurance, the one that is on this other side, the one that is giving you discipline to put money aside, the one that is giving you a security is the one that you must be steady. That's why we tell you to use a permanent job, or you use an income, the power of your income every month, because you need to run all the way to the 5th year, to the 10th year with the money that you're giving in monthly. That's what you're forcing yourself to put in every month without fail. Money market ukiwa na shida utaweka, but the one for the money market insurance you put. And it's a very important question because it's brought in something. When a person starts, we're in 2023, and you've opened a money market fund, you've been able to put your 5K, anza kurusha what you can into your money market fund. Just start hiding something. Why? Job ikakatika, you'll still need to continue paying this, and you realize that the landing is not so hard. It also gives you time to look for another job. And why are you doing all this? It's because you want to see your 18 million down the line. And when you're having 18 million by age 61, we're expecting you to grow it, and these are the millions we are telling you need to pass to the next generation. And when you pass the 18 million, you're telling your children or your grandchildren, I'm not leaving you 18 million. This is not touch money. I'm leaving you the monthly and the yearly return. You have to keep talking to your children from the earliest possible. That's why we are saying we want to go back. So you leave them the 18 million, wagawane, hii pesa inakuja monthly, pesa inakuja yearly. This 18 must be passed on to the next generation. So if I, your mother, gave you 18 million by the time I was passing on, and I created it from zero, how much are you supposed to create you as my grandchild or my child? No, times 3. Did you do times 3 or times 2? Do times 3. Me, I started from 0. You're starting with 18. Do you see how we can break the poverty culture in our country? Yes, you keep talking to kids that they must also change and do something different.
Any other?
There's one here and one there.
So there was the checks that you mentioned, the one for 122, then there's the 371. Mm-hmm. So the checks that you receive, one, are they taxed? And two, are they under the 15% tax relief that you mentioned?
You get a tax relief. They are not taxed. This is how you steal from the taxman legally. You're actually stealing from him legally. And if I did the math, if I showed you the 15%, the money that is actually coming back to you every year, you'll be shocked at how much money you're actually bringing back to your side. Because if it's 10K, you do 10,000 times 12, that is how much? So you do 15% of 120. That's the, yes? 18K. So 18K is supposed to come back. If you have an employer who agrees to give you the relief every month, So you break the, how much? You break the 18,000 into monthly, so they give you start receiving that as a relief every month. So do you get tax relief from your employer? Yeah. Oh, good. So it means she's not even paying now the 120. It's 120 minus the 18. You get that? And there's a whole topic on tax management, and that's one of them. You must find those small, tiny ways of pushing money back to yourself instead of just being ignorant and allowing the money to just go. And we don't normally think that. We don't think much about that. Thank you. Really appreciate you all for your patience. Yes, you're good students.
Thank you. This goes to Mary. Yeah? The tax relief you have said, it's not the normal tax relief we know. It is beyond the normal tax relief we know. Now, I was getting, there is a difference between the normal tax relief we know, the one that is given by the government, and we can be able to get some money if we have these insurance issues. So you are talking about both of them. Well, okay, that's the
Kitu moja nimesahau. Our work and this team here is, I always say, please don't go mpaka uchorewe chart yako. Just see yourself on paper, on a chart yako, so that at least you can just do a projection. Can I give my 2? Can I give my 3? So after we've mingled, I can see there is something there. After we mingled, I think that should be the thing somebody should allow us to do for them. Yes.
You have another question? Okay.
A lot, so I think I've taken down a lot of questions. So she mentioned something about Chama. We recently joined into one, and you mentioned not eating everything. So we came down with a figure of 5,000. Then we do half goes to merry-go-round, then the other half stays in an account. But it's not really an account. It's, do I call it? It's an M-Pesa line. Let me just not lie. So
one of you is keeping the money for you.
Yes. So would it be, because now the goal for it was at the end of the year, whichever percentage of contribution that we've done, we now get it back after 12 months. Is it possible, or rather would you be able to recommend something for us that we can be able to have the money gain some interest instead of just having it sit there?
How many are you?
5.
Normally when I think of a chama, I look at the fastest way you can grow and at the same time remain with money that is iko karibu, so that you're not like utterly broke because you're giving away everything, and you're still taking care of the future, you're still taking care of the present, and you're still growing. The money is still growing. So yeah, we'll be able to give very good advice. Yes, we can have a chat.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
I think I'm done now.
Yes.
Chairman, you can recruit us to some of these chairmans. We'll allow you to have your seat. Guys, I then agree if you sacrificed yourself to come. I only want to have one challenge, and me and you can agree that the biggest challenge in this world we are living falls under the boy child. Unfortunately, I want to declare I couldn't gather enough, and maybe that is one of the biggest challenge, because when we have these ladies, these empowered, now we get into trouble. I'm going to look for you. We look for a way where we can get the boy child to get this concept. But if you sacrifice to come to this forum, I think you can sacrifice to have a little more time and engage with this team, because that is why they came, to give the insight. And I will tell you why I'm passionate about this, because I keep on saying at my age, which all of you maybe except, yes, you do not know. But if I could have gotten this knowledge at an earlier age, maybe I could not be where I am today. I don't mean I could not be ministered in, but my capital worth could not be where it is today. So that's why I'm passionate. Because if you can start early, you can triple or do 6 times my capital gain by my age. And that would make me very happy. When I meet you with a big car, well, maybe I'm driving a small one, it makes sense to know that you put into practice what you engaged with. So I had so much to do today. I even wanted to give you challenges, so that I see how much you are able to draw your own chart in a game way. But that is for another day.